In the book, I started hearing from God when I was young. I think around 11, I think that was the first time that I heard distinctly a voice which is not my voice and not somebody else's voice. Not an audible voice, but a voice that is very clear that you can hear. I started it's like a conversation, like how we're having a conversation now, like you become more adept at recognizing the voice because you just continue a conversation. But then when I gave my life to the Lord, I would spend a lot of time reading the Bible, and then the voice that you hear is similar to the voice in the Bible. It's not different. It's really the same voice. So it grew stronger, I think, because of the knowledge of the Word of God, and then prayer, and just it's a relationship, really. It's like, how do you get to know someone? You get to know them by being in the relationship. You get to know what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what makes them, you get to know more about the person by being in the relationship. So even with God, you get to know God more by just this walk, the daily walk. So hearing his voice, I used to think that everybody hears. I thought he was just normal, and it was later on when I would always talk to people and say, well, why don't you just ask God? He will tell you, and I would understand that maybe everyone doesn't talk to God in the same way, but I believe that it's open to every believer. I don't think that there's any God doesn't show partiality. There's no, this is for this or this is for that. But I think that it's open to every believer to be able to hear from God, because Jesus said, my sheep hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger they don't follow. So I believe that every believer can hear from God, but it's a lifetime of relationship, really. In the book, I share the story of how it's a bit of a lengthy story, but I started seeing this vision. I think it was around 2005, 2006. Started seeing a vision, and it was a vision of Africa, and it was showing a light coming out of Uganda and going out to Africa. And I kept on seeing that same vision, and I didn't know what it meant. And I would ask God, and it just kept on recurring for over a course of a year. So I kept praying about it, and at some point, to just cut the long story short, the Lord revealed to me that light that was coming out of Uganda was His Word, was the Word of God, and how Uganda really had a redemptive purpose, a special redemptive purpose, and as Uganda aligned with that redemptive purpose, it would have an effect on other nations in the region. And so it was all very vague, as in it wasn't clear, what does that mean, what does the light mean? And so it was only when the Lord really challenged me about obedience and about following Him and about really being open to the way He wanted me to obey Him, that he revealed to me that it was a church, and that was the way that He wanted me to obey Him was through the planting of the church, which was very, very I share in the book, it was very, very shocking, because I had never really been in church. I had been in relationship with Jesus, but not really in church, involved deeply in church, and so it was out of left field. So but it was again that revelation, that sort of revealing of God's will.
Down at the cross where my Savior